Hello, this is Heretic Prince. Are you ready to lead and do machines? Be cool but rude and a party dude. Well, it looks like we're getting a blast from the past. No, a lot of. The original Ninja Turtle games are coming back. In TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, it's going to bring back 13 games. And that got the old nostalgia juices flowing. For the 8-bit classic on the NES, Turtles in Time, and what boy didn't fall in love with April O'Neil? I would say she was my first redhead crush. Then I found out that Elvira is naturally a redhead. And to answer the first questions on your mind, or at least the first questions that were on my mind, yes, this will be coming to Steam for PC, also for PlayStation and Xbox. I stopped by the Polygon article to find out exactly which systems. That will be Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC via Steam, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. And for this collection, you will be shelling out $40. I read the PC Games article and the Polygon one. I was a little disappointed that there was no mention of April O'Neil being the victim of the male gaze, or the Statue of Liberty being the damsel in distress. Going back to the PC Games article, it had this to say: the nicest thing about this compilation is that it exists at all. With something like TMNT, the biggest barrier to re-releases is working out the licenses. So it seems like Nickelodeon and Konami worked something out, which I don't see why they wouldn't. Konami gets some money, Nickelodeon gets to promote their license. It's a win-win. Sometimes I feel like I need to yell at these companies that something is more than nothing. However, let's get to the games. The most realistic PC game of 2021. Hello there. How are you? It's Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not getting paid for this, I swear. So the game lineup is, let's see here, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade. This is the original arcade game that we all saw in the movie theater lobby while we were waiting to go in and watch that very first Ninja Turtles, where you start out in a burning building and you have to save April from Rocksteady. Man, anybody else remember gathering around that machine with your cousins? Then there's the classic, this is my favorite one, Turtles in Time, and there's an arcade version, and then there's actually the SNES version. So it's going to be really hyped to play both versions. However, I can't save it to the end, I have to announce it now. Several of these games will have online support. You will be able to play with your friends online. That's going to be a blast. I can't tell you how many times I've told my friends I wish we could play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time. I'm sorry if my voice is cracking and I sound like I'm fluctuating all over the place, but I'm legitimately excited for this. Let's see, there's the original NES version of it, Turtles 2, the arcade game for NES, the Manhattan Project, Tournament Fighters for the NES, Tournament Fighters for the Super Nintendo, the Hyperstone Heist, then Tournament Fighters for Sega Genesis. Now that might sound like a lot of the same game, but if you're like me and you lived through the console wars, those dark days, so many souls and lives lost, the horror. Man, people talk about console wars these days. Back then, it was something else. We didn't have the internet to get all of our information. We had to fight it out on the playground. There was no definitive source. Because even then, wherever you got your gaming magazines, there was Nintendo Power, and then there's ones that, of course, they were fake news. They were Genesis biased, right? You couldn't just go on the internet and look it up and be like, okay, which one has more bits? Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Boy, oh my god, we had so many arguments. Bunch of little boys ready to beat the hell out of each other. But, oh, sorry, my point. My point is that Tournament Fighters for Sega Genesis and Tournament Fighters for Super Nintendo, there's a great YouTube show called Console Wars, where it shows how wildly different the games could be between the two. So it's worthwhile to have both versions. But continuing on, there's Fall of the Foot Clan, Back from the Sewers, and Radical Rescue, the last three for the Game Boy. Handling the port is a company called Dark Eclipse, which have previously worked on Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, the SNK 40th Anniversary, and Blizzard Arcade Collection. I wish I could give you some more insight into that, but I didn't play any of those games. Though I have considered picking up Street Fighter because that was another game that we would all gather around and almost get into real fights over. Also, according to the PC Games article, it seems like these games will be getting some of the features that you would see on the SNES Classic, like the ability to rewind a game or save at any time. Now, if you played the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES, you know, the one with the infamous sewer level, you're going to need that save state. I never beat that game. It never happened. I beat the sewer level, or not the sewer level, sorry, where you're swimming around under the dam. April O'Neil says that you have her support, and this is where the AVGN breaks in and says, I'm sorry, I can't say something that mean about my precious, lovely April O'Neil. I can't. I still have my childhood love for her. And one last section from the article here. The press release promises loads of extras using imagery from the original cartoons, comics, and other historic TMNT media content in a compiled museum connecting the franchise across the various mediums. Additionally, never before seen development art, sketches, and game design material will also be included. So hey, those are some nice extras if you're interested in that. It also appears that a game called Shredder's Revenge is still upcoming. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe I'll do a video on that one. I do know April O'Neil is I'm talking way too much about April O'Neil. I'm sorry, I got a thing for redheads. You'll have to forgive me. And so far, it seems that we only know that the collection is coming out sometime this year. And given that we're only in the third month of the year, we may be waiting a while, but I'll keep my eyes peeled for any definite date. And that brings me to the end of this one. I'm sorry I couldn't have any gameplay going on in the background, but I don't even own the game anymore. I don't know where it went. On my Xbox 360, I'm pretty sure I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time, the reshelled edition, which shockingly disappointed me. Whenever you're going to redo a game, don't redo it that much. I was sorely disappointed. Hopefully they keep the original games intact and just port them over as best they can. For those of you who were complaining on my Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster videos, why isn't this coming to PlayStation or Xbox? Well, this one is, so I'll meet you halfway, I guess. No, that's not a PC elitist type thing. I wish everybody could play all games, no matter what platform you're on. But as always, if you feel so inclined, be sure to follow me so you know whenever I bring out some more news about this or other things, or if I just find an article I feel it's worthwhile to make fun of. As always, thank you very much for listening.